As a flying phantom, the charter flight DC-4 with 57 passengers on board landed in Caracas, Venezuela in 1992 after the plane disappeared in 1955 during its flight from New York to Miami. In a few minutes the ghost plane took off and disappeared again in the clouds. The reports of the witnesses and record of the radio contact between the pilot and the control tower of the airport make undeniable evidence that this mystic landing had really taken place. So there are also the airport control service staff's testimony. The descriptions of people who saw this coincided, as the Deputy Minister of Civil Defense, Ramon Estovar, had reported. But the main proof, according to Mr. Estovar, is a hand-size calendar dated 1955. Which the pilot of the ghost plane had dropped on the runway a few seconds before the plane DC-4 took off and hit in the sky.
I saw the plane, I heard the pilot's voice, I have even held the small calendar in my hand, but I still can't believe my own eyes,
said Juan de la Corte, who clearly saw everything what was going on at that moment, from his office in the control tower of the airport.
The passengers of the flight DC-4 were sure that it was the year 1955, and they had landed in Florida. But that was wrong. Only God knows where the people had spent all these years.
According to Mr. de la Corte and some others traffic controllers, they had immediately understood that something strange and supernatural was about to happen, when they saw an old type plane with propeller, which was not seen on the radar screen.
We saw the plane with our own eyes, but on the radar we saw nothing, said
Mr. de la Corte.
We asked the pilot to give his name, but in replay we heard,
"Where are we now?"
His voice showed that the man was frightened and confused. But finally he told us that he was doing charter flight 914 from New York to Miami with a crew of 4 people and 57 passengers on board. The traffic controller added that after the pilot's words there was total silence in the control room. Everybody was shocked. The destination point of the flight 914, Miami, was 1,800 kilometers away from Caracas, Venezuela, South America.
I said to the pilot, "This is Caracas, Venezuela, South America." Then I asked, "Are you in distress?"
There was no answer, so I cleared the passageway for the plane to land, and the landing went very well. Next moment, when I started to think that situation was under control, I heard as a pilot told his co-pilot,
"Jesus Christ, Jimmy, what the hell is it?"
They were looking at a jet plane as if it was a spaceship. As Mr. de la Corte told us, the pilot of the ghost plane had explained that according to the schedule they had to land in the International Airport of Miami at 9:55 a.m. on the 2nd of July, in 1955. Then I heard him saying,
"Something is wrong here."
So I informed them.
"Captain, this is an international airport of Caracas. Today is the 21st of May 1992.
I heard that pilot crying,
"Oh my God."
I also could heard him breathing hard. I tried to calm down him, saying that we have sent them the ground crew. But when the ground crew and the refueler came closer to the plane, the pilot exclaimed,
"No, don't get closer. We are leaving."
Later the ground crew members said that could see the faces of the passengers, looking at them from the illuminators. And then the pilot opened the illuminator of his cabin and waved his hand, meaning go away.
He was waving at us with the file, said
de la Corte.
And probably at that moment, the small calendar fell from the file and we found it later.
Then the pilot started the engine and the plane took off. Later all the records of this radio session in the hand-size calendar were highly classified by Secret Service. If you like this video, thumb up and subscribe on our channel. Bye.